This is One Leeds. Welcome back to the latest video. This video, as always, is sponsored by Shop GNO, The Job Match Group, and Match Bingo. Let's get into it. First up, The Job Match Group. Whether you're looking for your next big gig or just browsing, The Job Match Group has niche job sites made just for you. F1, retail, security, and loads more. They're about matching the right person to the right job. Make sure you check them out if you're ready to level up your career. Then we've got Shop GNO, an exciting new e-commerce site where you can grab exclusive deals and discounts. Right now, One Leeds has an affiliate link just below where you can score a 25 quid membership for free, unlocking special rates and benefits. You can even list your own shop on there with way better rates than Amazon, eBay, and Vinted. They've got some Leeds bits and some general bits now and launching soon, plus some great prizes just for signing up. This is all powered by a massive Leeds United fan looking to make waves in the online shopping world. So check them out and support your local. And don't forget our mates at Match Bingo. They're smashing it with footy fun. You can get 5 bingo cards for the price of 4 through One Leeds, and you can even deposit just a £5 at a time to join the action. It's a big chance to win whilst having a blast with your fellow Leeds United friends. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Check the links in the description, and let's get on with the video. Hello everybody, how are you doing? My name is Conor McGilligan, this is the Rumour Mill, and we are back. What is going on, everybody? Let us know in the comment section below. This is the Rumour Mill. It's going to be one of the last Rumour Mills. It's depressing. The transfer window is over. The saga is nearly done, and the pressure is on Daniel Farke and the 49ers to get the right results through the door. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Today, we're going to be speaking about Facundo Updates. We're going to be speaking about Manor Solomon. We're going to be speaking about Christantus Uche, Illan Meslier. We're going to be speaking in the DDD about maybe a certain move, a managerial move that you guys are all pressing me to talk about. And, of course, we're going to be speaking about Timo Werner, the likelihood of that toward the back end of the window. We're going to be speaking about a certain Stuttgart striker of which the transfer rumours might be veering away from said reason. But yeah, let us know what's going on in the comment section below, everybody. What do you think? And we will get into it. A lot of people talking about certain things being off. I wouldn't go as far as that, everybody. Don't believe completely everything you read. We will get into that, of course. But yeah, I need to see some consolidated rumours for me to really delve into it and talk about it. We do kind of the offshoot ones every now and again, the old soft rumours, but we don't get into it too much. The relatively decent rumours we'll try and touch on earlier on in the morning. Hi, Timmy. Hi, Larkin. Hi, Paul. Teddy's here as well. What's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Nice to see you in here. Morning, Con, and everybody. Hello, mate. What's going on? Bybrows says, Connor, I beg you to have a discussion about Zygankov. 20 million Girona players will be our best player since Raf. I don't think that there's any way that gets done, though, Bybrows. You got to think about the... shout out to you, Benno. Happy birthday, my man. I don't think that happens, mate. There's been no rumours around it, and we've got like 3 or 4 days left of the window, buddy, so make sure you check that out. Everybody, back the sponsors of one of the sponsors of the video. You know, we've got brilliant replica shirts across the network, everybody. Make sure you check them out. Link in the description below, everybody. You can find them in their OK jersey. Fantastic replicas. I've got now a hell of a lot, and they are well worth it, everybody, if you fancy your football stuff this weekend. Have you got your betmate stuff sorted? Have you got your 7 fantasy players sorted for this week? Have you entered the game week pot? Make sure you do. I've done so, everybody. You can enter for £1.50, 3 quid, 5 quid, 10 quid, and enter whatever pot you want. Now, listen, all that pot is culminated, is brought together, and the winner, the best fantasy player, wins it all. He wins it all, or she wins it all. Make sure you check it out, everybody. Link in the description below. We're sponsored by the fantastic Shop GNO. Listen, unbelievable things you can get over there. Fantastic things you can get over there. You can list your shop on there as well. 5% cheaper rate than Amazon, eBay, and Vinted. My goodness, make sure you do that. We've got 3 One Leaders who have the shops over there already. Make sure you do that. Well worth it. They're very, very happy with the products. And of course, Match Bingo, everybody. You want to get involved. 5 cards for the price of 4. They will match your deposit as well, and then add another bit on. 200% match. Make sure you do that. Original people who go over there as well. If you've just entered Match Bingo, 5 quid on. They'll give you 10 quid absolutely free. Okay, let's get on, shall we, everybody? So let's get on to Timo Werner. Now, what do we know about Timo Werner? It's got a very weird voice, hasn't it? Very similar to Daniel Farke. So Timo Werner, let's get into the news surrounding the German today. Now, according to several sources, this morning, Werner didn't want to come to Leeds. Okay, London World are suggesting this morning that Leeds United did inquire about the German winger who's previously been at Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea. I did guess yesterday it was going to be between us and Burnley, and reports are suggesting today it was between us and Burnley, according to London World. So there you go. Very obvious. I don't think Timo Werner will be going to any higher level club. But according to Yahoo, according to London World today, he does not want, and German reports today as well, are suggesting that he doesn't want to leave Germany. He wants to remain at RB Leipzig and figure out whatever problem they've got going on at this moment in time, in terms of playing, in terms of apparently disputes within the club, so we're not, privy to know what they are when it comes to Werner and Leipzig. They don't want him at the club, according to significant reports. However, Werner wants to stay in Germany, so he's happy to run down whatever contract it is. So, Wanderlust has just said Shah and Tonali both fit for tomorrow's game. Thanks for that. You just ruined my day. We'll get into that in just a little bit, of course. But yeah, look, it doesn't. I didn't ever think Timo Werner was going to be coming to Leeds anyway, everybody. It would have been staggering, absolutely staggering if he'd have come to Leeds United based on just the wages, and that's the thing with Leeds United. You can inquire about it, and reports this morning and last night from the German side said Leeds United did inquire about it, but they were immediately put off by his wages, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, the fact that we did approach RB Leipzig, or apparently, allegedly approached RB Leipzig for Timo Werner is probably a bit of an issue in itself. Let's have a look. Right, you guys are spamming the chat with something. Let me just have a quick look. Why does this always happen when I'm live? You do 2 hours preparation, and then it. Now, the only reason I'm looking at this is because you guys are absolutely spamming the chat. Is there any official sources for this, guys, or are you just literally saying it because you've seen it on said forum? You're all saying he's saying Facundo Buonanotte is off, which, from what I understand, it's not. The YEP were reporting this morning that it's getting closer. So I don't know where this is coming from. According to who? Exactly, Sam. Are we just going off the forum again? Is that what we're doing? Heavy rumours, right? Okay, yeah. So, yeah, as I say, according to the YEP this morning, we're going to get onto Buonanotte in just a little bit, but you guys are absolutely spamming the chat. Don't keep no sources from what I can find. Just one person saying it. Yeah, look, if the YEP are reporting it earlier on this morning, this is a very, very decent source. It's a very decent source. They're reporting it, and we'll get on to Facundo Buonanotte as well. And let's not just have a meltdown about it being off. Look, it could be off, of course. We have no reliability, though, that it is off. We're getting heavy rumours from the Brighton side of it and from the Leeds side of it that it's on, and it makes a lot of sense. So I don't really... guys, mods in the chat. Come on, boys, do your job. Boys and girls, let's do your job, okay? And it's not to just get everybody out as well of the chat who, I'm not saying you're talking nonsense or anything like that, but if you're spamming things and there's no actual consolidation behind it, there's no substance behind it, don't keep spamming the chat. People don't want to read it. People don't want to read you spamming the chat to get whatever, notion you have in there. But just, yeah, as I say, come in with a bit of talk, and then we can at least research it. But when you're just coming in here and saying it's off, and then there's nothing out there suggesting it's off, it's hard to believe that. But the only reason I'm touching on that is because obviously we've been live plenty of times this summer, and something has happened whilst we're live. Okay, Illan Meslier apparently is being linked to Valencia over the past 24 hours, and it's not just Valencia. It is Lorient who are pushing for the deal as well. Apparently Leeds United are wanting to get him out of the club by Monday's deadline. Corberan's Valencia are apparently needing to build that squad, obviously, after their GK went to Liverpool. They're looking at building the squad GK-wise, so Illan Meslier is apparently high on their list. Obviously, Corberan knows him from his time at Leeds United, but Mellier's former club, Lorient, are still pushing for the deal. Now, this is good news for Leeds United, because if there's some sort of bidding war, and even if there isn't a bidding war, just getting into one of these clubs means that at long last Leeds United have got the outgoing sorted that they desperately needed, in my opinion, in this window. I think Leeds United needed Illan Meslier and have needed outgoings effectively to happen a little bit earlier. You want that, you want your team to be built inwards, but obviously you need outgoings to sort of build that squad as well, to have that level of, you're looking at the 24, 25 man squad at the end of the window and say, right, okay, there's a long-term plan there, there's a mid-term plan there, there's a short-term plan there. I think with Illan Meslier out the club, Daniel Farke talking about him not being part of proceedings. Same with Paddy Bamford yesterday. I think that made a lot of sense, but obviously they're going to get value for Meslier. They won't have got value for Pat Bamford because of his wages. That was a clear indicator that there was a problem anyway. Illan Meslier is on a lot lower wages than what Pat Bamford was, and there are clubs interested in him, so they're evidently looking at matching that fee as well, everybody. Let's just get rid of this headline here as well. I apologise for that. Didn't even realise that was there, so we'll just have the rumour mill like that. Let's get into a few of your comments on the second section below. I think people getting mixed up with Gonzalez staying at issues. Yeah, whatever. Buonanotte, medical. Oh my God, medical due to flight issues. Tommy, you need to get better in here, mate. It's Buonanotte medical was planned yesterday, cancelled due to flight issue, rescheduled for today, no problems. It's reported by a fake news outlet called March on Together Leeds News. It is still on us 40 minutes ago. They were in for Buonanotte. Let's just have a quick look at this. I'm just going to have a quick look at this. I thought it would be something like this because a loan deal not being sanctioned. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, okay, right. So we'll get on to Buonanotte in a little bit. We're going to get into Buonanotte in a little bit. Okay, which player is our statement signing? Lee, we were talking, Tommy, I will, mate. We were talking the other day, mate, about what is, and me and Joe were talking about this, and me and Joe have got a preview out, everybody, for the Newcastle game, which is quite nice, to be honest with you. Enjoyed doing the preview with Joe as well, and that will be out on the channel a little bit later on, so make sure you guys go and have a look. I know you guys enjoy me and Joe doing stuff. Me and Joe are good pals, so we are going to be doing a few more bits going forward with something next week as well. So I will be releasing a little bit of a preview that me and him did yesterday, on his Big Up channel, but we'll have that preview live on YouTube very much later on, so check that out. So, but overall, I think when you look at it and you're looking at the situation Leeds United are in right now, we spoke about this statement signing, this marquee signing. When I look at statement signing, maybe it's the quality of the player. A marquee signing indicates that it's based on talent, but I don't think naturally as a fan base we should all just say, oh, well, he's a marquee signing because he costs 35, 40 million quid. I don't think that is a marquee or statement signing. Be-all for me is a marquee signing. Anton Stach, with his level of playing in the Bundesliga and being in the top echelon, the upper echelon of midfielders over there, and the numbers that he put out for the last 2 or 3 years, he is a marquee statement signing. But I think maybe a lot of fans maybe look at the state of play when it comes to the transfer valuation, and then they categorise that as a statement signing, a marquee Simon. Simon. I've just seen Simon in the chat. A marquee and a statement signing, or not, based on valuation. I don't think it should be that. If you were to go out and get a Demirovic for, I'll tell you what, if we were to bring in, and I know it's different circumstances, but if we were to bring in a Buonanotte with, you bring him in permanently, I think a lot of fans would suggest that Buonanotte is then a statement signing or a marquee signing. But because it's a loan, it's not based on a statement and a marquee signing. But I think that should be based on whoever you bring in on the understanding of their talent. Okay, see the difference that I've got there when it comes to that marquee and statement definition. I think it should be based on talent. So technically, him coming in for this Premier League season is a marquee signing. Okay, now if you want to talk about the valuation of a player, that is something different in my opinion. But the talent acquisition is what I kind of categorise as that marquee signing, if you get what I mean. We were talking about that yesterday. Buonanotte is unbelievable. Morning, Connor. Tune into He Say Styles Make Fight. When you're doing this every day, mate, you get the... Yeah, I've got some sayings, haven't I? I need a, like, Conor McGilligan soundboard, don't I? Do you think we'll see a strike arrive? Surely, when we've only spent 80 million on forwards, there is still room to add. Yeah, we'll get on that in a bit, mate. Tom says, do you reckon Demirovic stays at Stuttgart now? Connor just joined the stream. Good morning. Connor and everyone getting very concerned at the lack of transfer activity. Ryan Kent deal is off. I think people are getting mixed up with Gonzalez. Yeah, let's get on to the next bit. God, you guys are you're very impatient today. You're very impatient. Okay, this is fun talking about this every day, isn't it? Manor Solomon, as of last night, this is interesting. Ben Jacobs this morning is reporting that Manor Solomon is of interest in the last coming days of the window to Leicester City. Charlie Cheswick as well, which sounds like some sort of made up cartoon character, but he's not. He's he's a genuine source. Has said as well that Sheffield United are looking to pursue him toward the back end of the window. Pursue him, we love that word. But they're looking to Solomon is of interest to Sheffield United and Leicester. So I thought maybe there'd have been a move from Burnley later on in the window. There was interest from Bologna around about a month ago, but I believe they've now got Johnny Rowe signed, sealed and delivered. So they're obviously not going to move on Manor Solomon when it comes to it. But I guess when you're looking at Solomon, I think this is what's going to happen with him toward the back. You make your own assumptions of what this means about Manor Solomon in terms of the level he can get to and the level he is at right now. But I think when it comes to a top championship club, I think this is probably where he's going to go down, thrive again. And maybe that is when he get maybe that Premier League move that he's looking for. Because I think probably a lot of Premier League clubs maybe are looking at it right now with the valuation Levy's put on his head, which is 15 to 20 million quid. A sensible Premier League club really doesn't go out and spend that on Manor Solomon now with the stage right in the window. But not only that, the proof in the Premier League that it works, which there just hasn't been for the last 3 to 4 years. And also on top of that, his sustenance through a Premier League season. Is he going to be able to stay fit? We've seen it in the Championship, obviously for a select period, even though last season for us he wasn't clear bill throughout the whole season, but he contributed to 23 goals, didn't he? So that was a big tick point on his level. If we were to then go, if I've said this multiple times, but if we were to go in and get Manor Solomon now, and we were speaking about it last night, it'd be very poor, in my opinion, from the club. I wouldn't rate it whatsoever. I think they could have got it done if they were that interested in Manor Solomon, they could have got it done, signed, sealed and delivered very, very much early on in the window, even if he's injured. Even if he's injured, you can get a little bit of a prognosis on how long a calf injury is. At Tottenham, it's not for that long. Apparently, Thomas Frank had a look at him in a couple of training sessions and then made his judgment. And then they went out, obviously, and brought more players in Solomon's position. And yeah, I just look at it now and I think at this stage of the window, if you took out and buy Manor Solomon and bring him in to Leeds United, I don't think they will do that. And that's good for me. And I think kind of when you're looking at Charlie Cheswick talking about a move to Sheffield United, you're talking about Ben Jacobs saying Leicester are interested in him. It kind of makes sense for me. It does make sense. Let's have a look. Solomon, no. Werner, no. Oipa says, I don't think these players are marquee signing. Lots of potential, but still improved. Morning, Connor, mate. Hi, Cole. Let's have a look. Connor and Jer, top team. Thanks, mate. Demirovic is definitely a top-tier signing. Basuma seems out of favour at Spurs, could be decent. I just don't see us doing a central midfielder. I just don't think that is a problem, as an option, sorry. Connor, do you think Buonanotte will play right wing or Cam? Think he has to start, indeed. Can't see Sheffield United going for Solomon. We have one loan spot left, and apparently we're in talks with Chelsea for Matos. Fair enough, yeah. Need more than Solomon, 100%. 49ers need a big statement over the next couple of days. Solomon on loan. Morning, Connor. Agreed, Connor. Big no to Solomon. Pete says, stack his quality. I thought Biel was bang. Average against Sheffield Wednesday looks slow and lacking in creativity. Other than that, I'm not happy with any of the signings. DCL should be a good fit. Yeah, and we'll get onto that in the back end of the window, mate, where we go over the transfers a little bit. I think when you look at, I guess the big one in terms of developing on that left-hand side is the one that I'm going to be looking at and keen to have a little bit of an interest in, I guess, in the coming games is Okafor. And the reasoning behind that is obviously Ramazani's gone out to work under Carlos at Valencia. And with what I've seen with Okafor, which I have watched Okafor before, and with what I even saw against Sheffield Wednesday, I think they're in the same tier. Which is interesting, but we'll wait and see. I guess. And that's going to be, we're going to do a little bit of an evaluation of the transfer window at the back end. So hopefully Leeds move a little bit stronger here. And we'll wait and see. Okay, I keep going the wrong way on the carousel. Okay, Ermedin Demirović. Now, Woltemade has gone to Newcastle. Looks like there's going to be a 40... Oh, it's going to be more than that, isn't it? It was originally a 40 to 50 million quid... Sorry, someone's just, I think, thrown a bin at the wall outside. But he's moving, Nick Woltemade, looks like he's moving from Stuttgart to Newcastle for around about 85, 90 million euros. Now, the original conversation with Woltemade was in and around about 40, 45, 50 million quid. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to have to shut the window. Jesus. You know what I mean? I'm on stream. People don't like extra noise. So, yeah, he was being spoken about to go for around about 45, 50 million quid. Now, Newcastle look to have signed him. Incredible deal for Newcastle. What a player he is, the under-21 international and future German international. He's an absolute, I think he's a monster. 6'6". Shots on target, you know, a ridiculous physical level as well, which is obviously going to be able to, he's obviously going to be able to acclimatise to the Premier League. Good range as well. Look, he's a terrific signing for Newcastle. The positive thing is he can't be registered for the Leeds United game, which is good at the weekend because we don't want to be dealing with that. But what's the bigger issue here? Well, Ermedin Demirović to Leeds United was something that we were talking about not so long ago. Now, Florian Plettenberg did mention around about 10 days ago that he would only consider top clubs Demirović. And with the level of goals he scored this season, which was rivaling the top three in the Bundesliga, obviously that we know, he could wait another year and then get top offers. You know, top offers, especially, you know, I've always thought with what's going on with Ollie Watkins at Aston Villa and the potential exit coming very soon, he'd be a perfect fit for Villa. We'll have to see what happens with Mateta over the next couple of transfer windows as well. I think he's going to be moving on. Would be a good move for Crystal Palace as well in terms of potentially like for like and a few other added attributes. So I think that this won't get done. And obviously the big context here is Woltemade has moved from Stuttgart to Newcastle. So what does that mean? It would mean that Stuttgart would be left with one recognised striker going into the season if Demirović was then to move on. I don't see this happening. I really don't see this happening. It doesn't make a lot of sense for Stuttgart unless Leeds United going with a massive bid, which I don't see. Yeah, I don't see us doing it. But a bid that they can't reject, you know, 40, 45 million quid. I think that's what we'd be looking at. I think that's what we'd be looking at with Stuttgart now. I think that price is going to massively increase. There is apparently a plane coming in from Leeds to Stuttgart today, which a lot of people are clinging on to. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one, everybody, but I don't see that happening. Okay, let's see what others are saying in the chat, shall we? Solomon to Leicester on loan, seen on their page. Biggest issue with Solomon is injuries. I will always be thankful Solomon don't see him coming back. Knox says, morning, Connor. How's it going? Thoughts on Leeds at the minute? Okafor is knackered already. Okafor injured. Any news on Uche? We will be getting on to Uche in just a little bit, mate. Tell them, Connor, injured 100%. Strong pyjama bottoms. Yeah, just comfort in it, lads. Comfort. Aragon says Ramazani is very poor defensive discipline, which for this season will be more defensive. Doesn't fit well as Nonto, James, and Okafor. The numbers don't back that up, Aragon, in terms of, I mean, I guess the word discipline is in terms of holding onto the ball retention. That is true. Why would you bring him in from Spain to fit a Daniel Farke system? Why? Because that's what he was in La Liga. He was that electric, pacey player who hit teams on transition. I get the defensive discipline. The word discipline is key here when we're talking about language. But a player who can make the difference this season is Ramazani. And there is an argument he's more talented than all of that three in behind the striker. All of them. Pacey, electric, direct. And he wasn't given enough last season. I don't think he was given enough minutes. And I do hate the argument of, Aragon, mate, when we're looking at the per 90 GNA in the Championship, he was top. Per 90. So, could he have done something? I thought he looked sharp in pre-season. A lot of people were saying the same thing. Now he's being sold. The narrative has changed. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't good off the ball. Harrison is good off the ball. Aronson is good off the ball. Should they really be? Aronson has started for Leeds out wide as well in pre-season, and he's had features against Sheffield Wednesday out wide as well, same as Jack Harrison. Should they really be in the squad over Largi Ramazani in terms of impact going forward? I don't believe people think that. I think it's more of a justification for people turning around and saying they want Daniel Farke to be right in this situation. I think the Ramazani situation hasn't been dealt with the right way. I would have liked to have seen him stay at Leeds United. I think you've sorted your left winger situation as well. If you've got Okafor there, you've got Okafor and Ramazani. They could be battling it out for that spot. And then on the other side, you've got Nonso and James. And you don't need to be. And look, you can bring in Facundo Updates. He can play on the right. He can play in the cam, and then you can go all in. Or you don't even need to bring Okafor in. Realistically. Because then you've got Ramazani, you've got effectively Nonso who can play out there, but you've got Nonso on the other side, haven't you? But then you've got Buonanotte, you've got James, you've got Buonanotte, James, Nonso, Ramazani, and then you invest heavily into a striker. I don't see that much of a difference. We've spent 21 million euros on Okafor. Looks decent, but from what you've seen of him, the physical readiness, which was always a problem. We mentioned this on this video, on this channel, 150 times, and I got berated for being overly positive about it, even though I've been positive about 99% of the Leeds players that I've signed, and then you get berated for being too positive, so you can't win. But it's not a pointless signing Okafor whatsoever, but there isn't a level up with Okafor and Ramazani. There just isn't. There's just not, in my opinion anyway, and we will see throughout the season. But the physical readiness was always an issue for me, but I don't think there's a level up in terms of talent whatsoever. And there's an argument Ramazani is our most talented player behind that striker. So letting go of that and blaming it, and I know you're not doing this, Aragon, because it's been fed to you a lot, but his defensive numbers, his duel rate was very decent last season. I actually thought as a defensive winger, he's pretty damn good. But as a risk taker, as we saw with Pablo Hernandez a lot when he'd lose the ball, and I'm not comparing him to Pablo Hernandez, it's relative level. I'm just saying risky players, direct players, they lose the ball more often because they're trying things. If you want this structured, off-the-ball stuff where wingers don't take risks and certain players don't take risks, that's absolutely fine. But you got to think about what the downsides are going to be, along with having those players. But when you're not giving a certain player proper minutes, last season where he got 800 minutes, but then per 90, he's at the top of the charts when it comes to offensive output. And then in pre-season, I think he's looked pretty sharp, personally. I think he's looked pretty sharp. I thought he'd be given a chance this season. I thought, well, I don't know. But put it this way, me and Joe were talking about it. Why is there not an option for Valencia to buy him? Why is there not a recall? Why have Leeds United asked for a recall as well in there? Makes you think, doesn't it? They've not allowed Valencia to have any sort of buy option on him. Why would you do that if he's not good enough and they can get rid of him because of his defensive discipline or his off the ball work? Surely you get rid of him if he's not able to acclimatise to Premier League level and he's not good enough. Just get rid of him. Give a loan option there. It's clearly not worked for you at Leeds United, but clearly the higher ups at Leeds United won't do that. And Leeds have asked Valencia for a recall clause. Why would Leeds ask that? Why? Does make you think, doesn't it? Does make you think. And by the way, can I just say, that isn't something I'm saying in terms of Okafor. I want Okafor to work. But the simple question is, because I need to over-explain this sometimes, because now people will go away and say Connor said Okafor's crap, and he wants Ramazani back in. One Ramazani fan channel. Okay, fine. I get the one Ramazani fan channel. I'm just a fan. But I don't think that's that controversial, thinking Ramazani's a good player. But, and it could help Leeds. But I just don't think Noah Okafor, this is what I'm saying to you guys, is a step up to Ramazani. I think they're in the same tier. And I think we'll see that through the season. But it's great that we brought Okafor in because he is that level, but why would you not keep this guy as well and have them competing? Then bring in a Buonanotte, and then you've got, whatever. But for me, ball retention is a crucial stat. The best winning teams keep the ball more other than teams. Pep explains this all the time. I agree with that. 100% agree with that, mate. But at some point, you've got to have these risk takers in your team. You've got to have these risk takers in your team. You've got to have players who can win games. That's the element of football. You've got to have mavericks. Ramazani's a maverick. You've got to have players like that in your side who can win your games. I think he can win his games. But it is what it is. It is what it is now. But yeah, we will see, hopefully, Ramazani next season. But we will. Morning, Connor. Great to catch a live, mate. We'll be happy with Buonanotte's edition, but maybe we'd love one more attacker. Ramazani, Okafor in terms of the dynamism and breaking down defences. My God, Leeds are causing me some anxiety. It's supposed to be fun. Ramazani and Bamford chance. Completely agree. We swapped a bag of Satsumas for a bag of oranges. What's the latest on Buonanotte? Let's get into it, mate. Let's get into it, Dave. Dave trying to move me on. Okay, let's talk about Christantus Uche. Now, according to Team Talk this morning, everybody, Leeds United leading the race for Christantus Uche, which is good news. I think Christantus Uche would be a really lovely move for Leeds United. We spoke about it yesterday. Palace's interest seems to have waned a little bit, and according to Team Talk this morning, Leeds United have moved ahead of Wolves, ahead of Crystal Palace. This would be a really lovely signing. Someone who could play centre-back, CDM, central attacking midfielder, centre-forward, someone whose movement is on point, someone who's excellent in the transition. Monster. Absolute monster. And we're speaking about his fellow countryman yesterday. Shout out to Chris Kingy as well, who has been speaking about Rockadair for a long period of time now. But I don't think, obviously, he's going to move to Leeds United at this stage. But it would be a nice little bid to Genk, maybe. I think his transitional elements would fit into the Premier League. But Christantus Uche would definitely fit. Now, it appears that there's been a few issues behind the scenes when it comes to the player agreement between Christantus and Wolves. They've moved on. Uche has moved on in his camp. But the value's there. It'd be a wonderful signing. A wonderful, wonderful signing for Leeds United. Someone who's explosive. Someone as well who fits the mould of being versatile. It'd be a lovely, lovely addition for Leeds United. And you look at this one and think we could get this one done. This could be a market opportunity for Leeds United. A good old Angus Kinnear. Still got this phraseology book in my head for all those years. But yes, feels like that would work in a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3. And there is versatility there. He's durable, which is, it feels like Leeds' signings so far. I guess when it comes to Okafor, when you look at James Justin, when you look at Bornau, when you look at some of the other players that we have brought in, the key metric and the key tester for these players is going to be durability, because they've not shown that physical readiness over the past year or two or whatever it's been. Dominic Calvert-Lewin being another, Mecha being another one. Christantus Uche has that durability, has that reliability. Go get it done, Leeds United. What do you guys think in the comment section below? Good age. Exactly, Cal. Uche is a steal. Should have had him in a week. Sean Stephen says, Connor, hope you're well, mate. Just on Buonanotte, do you know if it's a straight-up loan or will there be an option to make it permanent? Don't want to make the same mistake as Ben White. So from what we understand now, Sean, it is a straight-up loan. Now, and the reason, we'll get onto this with Buonanotte in a sec, but they value him so highly that they didn't want any sort of option in there. Probably similar to us and Ramazani, to be honest with you. But they value him so highly. He's only 20 years of age, which is really key when it comes to the registration of the squad as well. But yeah, they want a straight loan, and they don't want him to go out to Dortmund and Lyon, who were keen on him. Reason behind that is because they want him to get used to the English league. They want him to get used to the domestic structure, which is really important and really intelligent, in my opinion, from Brighton. Ball retention, remember, Rutter would always lose it, but always create a chance. Trigger happy. Bang on the money, mate. Bang on the money. It cannot all be about in football. It cannot all be about off the ball, defensive discipline, work. It cannot be about this. It's got to be, you've got to bring Mavericks into your team. You have to have match winners. Have to. It is what it is. Uche, another one you look at and you think match winner. You've got to have these in your team. Have to have risk takers. As I've mentioned before, Pablo Hernandez wasn't exactly the most defensively disciplined player in the Marcelo Bielsa system, but Bielsa understood that you had to have players like this. Had to have players to win your games. Okay. Bobby, you bang on. Yeah. Team talks to expect the opposite. Why have you not acknowledged Okafor is injured? I have. He's injured. We just spoke about his physical readiness, mate. Okay. Let's move on, shall we? Facundo. Whoa. Please tell me you've all seen the Wolves thing. Strand Larson. Whoa. Strand Larson. Whoa. Newcastle wants him in, but he's not going to leave. No, he won't. If you don't understand what that means, I'm sorry for you. Can we get it on? I don't know why. Can I download this quickly and bring it to you guys? I'm not liking what's going on at the minute on social media. Hold on, guys. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading stuff live. So, let me bring you guys up to date. Yeah, let me bring you guys. Okay, so this window, right, has been. How do I put this? This window has been covered in a little bit of. I tell you what, let's see how many people are in the building right now. Let's try on the positive before we get to some sort of negative. We've got 1.5k in the building. Can we slap a like on the video? I'd really appreciate that, everybody. This window has been almost like covered by the journalists not really getting the scoop immediately. And in all fairness, said Leeds Forum and people on there who have clearly got mass connections in the club reporting stuff, okay? And I mentioned at the very beginning, these are always soft because it's just people putting stuff out there. And I'm sure these people have got stuff wrong. But it is now going viral that a good source from said forum is now saying that the deal is off. The deal is off because, and then, you know, Chelsea may be in and around it. So, I don't know. But look, it doesn't, I don't know. This is what I mean. It's soft. This is soft. From what we know when it comes to the hard rumours, a hard Brexit. Sorry. But from what we know when it comes to a hard rumour, the YEP were reporting last night that Leeds are closing in. Actually, sort of 20 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 20 minutes ago, it's been reported from everywhere. Yahoo saying we're closing in. Other really good sources from the Brighton end are saying we're closing in. And then you've got Brett Berrin last night. You've got Graham last night saying Leeds are closing on a deal. So, I am not sure. I cannot give you guys, as I've said multiple times that this is sort of news of which is soft. That, I mean, the hard stuff is the fact that Leeds United apparently are close to this when it comes to our credible sources. The thing that's putting the doubt in my head and I'm sure a lot of your heads, guys, is the fact that said sources on said forums, if you know my drift and you get my drift, I've been nigh on spot on before the journalist a lot of the times during this window. So, and they're saying the deal is off. Now, hypothetical scenario, if it is off, just go get Hamer. Just stop this nonsense and go get Hamer. Now, from what I understand with Gustavo Hamer, Leeds are pushing for a loan. Okay, believe this or don't believe this. Leeds are pushing for a loan, which suits, obviously, the Buonanotte thing, doesn't it? The Buonanotte thing came out yesterday, and I thought that's interesting because it means that Leeds still have room to do another one. Leeds are pushing for a loan, and then with an option to sign Gustavo Hamer for 15, 20 million quid. Why I thought this was slightly realistic was because Gustavo Hamer at Sheffield United is one of their top players. Top players, we know that. But I still think that Sheffield United squad works without Gustavo Hamer. The problem is right now, if you go and buy Gustavo Hamer, Sheffield United will feel within their remit and completely understandable that they want to go out and get a new body, a new player to replace Gustavo Hamer, because selling Hamer to Leeds United at the back end of the window isn't a great look. It's not a great look, is it? So, do I think there'd be a problem with the player? Absolutely not. I really don't. But if we moved on from Buonanotte, got Gustavo Hamer, I wouldn't be that upset. I really wouldn't be. It's just, will Leeds go out and get that done? Will Sheffield United be able to do that? And yes, thank you, Frosty. Thank you, Frosty, for those who are asking. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now, everybody. It seems very confusing. Very, very confusing. We were told by the YEP it's very, very close 2 hours ago. And now, obviously, you're getting said source on said site who's got a lot right, to be fair, this summer, saying that it's off. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, on that one. We'll have to wait and see. But what you will have every single day with me and every single hour and every single minute is updates, okay? So we will be live throughout the day with these things happening. I apologise, I can't give more clarity. I really apologise on that. Huge loss if true, but can't see Chelsea him getting him permanently. It's just connecting dots. That is, yeah, the NCSO deal to Chelsea has been cut off, and Buonanotte does make sense. Scott saying Sheffield United are signing Chong. Interesting. Could that maybe mean that Callum O'Hare moves inside? Who knows? I like what I see from Facundo Buonanotte, but I always had reservations about the deal being a loan. Next year, we'd go and replace him anyway. Would have much rather wait from Hamer. I don't think Hamer's a bad option right now. I think, but they've got to move quickly. I think the problem is, everybody, you know, when we look at the amount we've spent, Leeds have spent over 100 million. Haven't they? Yeah, Chris, they could do, mate. They could wait for me to be trolled. And do you know what? It'll probably be one of those things where they say, "He read it out on stream." So fair play. Even if they did do that, fair play. Like I said, it's one of those where we'll have to wait and see. He has got, in all fairness to me, he has got quite a few right, hasn't he? And I think, you know, he's got a few right before the journalists have even seen it. So, but listen, we will back here to obviously, you know, consolidate that, go through it. But it seems like the Leeds Twitter sphere is unhappy at that as well, which normally is a pretty bad sign as well. But I would go and get Gustavo Hamer if that's not working. But hopefully it is. Hopefully it's all fine. Bjorn, I know, mate. I know. But guys, I'll tell you what, we will leave it. And we will wait and see what happens. But listen, we're going to be back here throughout the day. If something happens, if it does happen, if it doesn't happen, we will wait and see. Thanks, Mr. Whitesnake. Thank you. Good to see you in here, Steve. Good to see you in here, pal. As I say, we try report on the rumours, but you're here, you're there, you're everywhere when it comes to Leeds United. It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. Thank you. Please like before you leave. Apologies for a little bit of the confusion this morning. It's breaking consistently, and Leeds move here, there, and everywhere. We will have a preview with the fantastic Joe Lynch coming out later on the channel, everybody. If you're interested in that, please subscribe to the One Leeds fan channel. Like the video before you leave, and we'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.